Welcome back to Reavers. I'm Andrew, and today I'm playing Marvel Champions. This is one of the two new hero packs, Rogue or Anne-Marie, and I'm playing against a scenario I played against once before, not on the channel, but I played against once with a couple friends and we lost. So I want a rematch, and this is going to be the Hood. So let's take a look at Anne-Marie, and she's got 3 recovers for a mutant. And we're going to start with the touched upgrade here. She is withdrawn, so after she changes to alter ego form, we're going to set this aside. But this is going to be set aside quite frequently because in rogue form, so she's got 2 thwart, 2 attack, and 2 defense. Straight up stat line, 11 health, not bad. Her force response after the player phase begins, this is going to get set aside. So basically, it's going to get set aside at the start of each hero phase. But skin contact as an action is going to let us attach it to something. So it'll attach to something until the end of the round. She will gain its traits. So things like criminal. She could become a criminal if she attaches it to Red Hood. Not that that would matter for most things. But the touched upgrade itself is going to care about what it's attached to. Because if it is a minion, her attacks will gain overkill. If it is a villain, she'll have retaliate 1. If it's an ally, she'll have aerial. And if it's a hero, she will have stalwart. So she don't think she can put touched on herself. So I don't think we'll be getting stalwart in a solo play game, but I think that's fine because I think retaliate and aerial are going to be the ones we're looking at. And she also has attacks and thwarts and defensive cards that care as well about which thing is attached, or which of those abilities she has rather. So the Hood has 14 health, and his little shtick is he's like a crime boss. So he's got a lot of different people working for him. He can find ways to work with anybody. And so the setup rules on the other side of making connections actually told me to set aside 7 encounter sets of my choice and then add 1 to the deck at random during setup. Now, I chose to add a particular encounter set, which is kind of cheating, but I wanted to play with the Reavers because that was the new encounter set that came with the Rogue pack. So the Reavers are already shuffled in there. And then for the 6 other ones, I actually haven't shuffled or haven't set aside anything. Instead, I've got all my encounter sets here, or some of them are not available right now, but you can see my beautiful storage solution, and I'm just going to roll a die when I need another one. Now we are going to have to track because he only gets 7, or one of them's already in there, so only 6 remaining. Even though I haven't set aside them, I will have to count how many are left. But otherwise, his ability is going to be that he has a special trigger, which I guess we'll have to wait for encounter cards that say to trigger that special ability, because even though I played against him, it's been a while, and I did not refresh myself. We'll get surprised as we go. But when that special foul play is triggered, we'll discard the top card of the encounter deck, and if it doesn't belong to the Hood, we get dealt an extra encounter card. Now, of course, a lot of the cards in the deck are the Hood cards. There are also standard cards, and the Reavers is actually an 8-card encounter set, which is kind of big. So it's reasonably likely that a card would not be from the Hood set, but as the game goes on, it's going to tell us to shuffle more of these set-aside encounter sets into that deck, and it'll become even more likely that they are not from the Hood. In fact, when we reveal Stage 2, when revealed trigger is going to have one of them set aside. Shuffle in. Making connections. The main scheme here says the Hood is recruiting an army, convincing various villains that they are stronger together than they are apart. When revealed, each player must resolve the Hood's foul play ability. So I actually have to do that right away. Let's see if this is a Hood card. And it is not a Hood card. It's a Reverse Skullbuster. So this is just discarded, but that means I have to be dealt an encounter card right off the bat. And it only has 5 threat per player, which since I'm playing a solo game is going to be 1. My goal is going to be to defeat Hood. He's got 14 health, but when I do defeat him, he's going to move on to stage 2, where he will have 16 health. If I defeat stage 2, I win because I'm playing on standard difficulty. So Rogue's actually going to start in alter ego Anne-Marie form. I've got my opening hand of 6. I didn't mulligan anything, and I maybe should have because I'm not going to be playing these 2 cards, but I got a very green hand, 2 power of protection, which is going to let me play these 2 cards, so maybe it'll be okay. So I think first off, I will change into hero form to become Rogue, which means we can use skin contact and put touched, I think, onto the Hood. And because it is attached to a villain, we now have retaliate 1. I'm going to play Clea. She's an ally with 2 health, 1 thwart, and 1 attack. When she's defeated, she'll shuffle back into my deck, and I have to pay 2 for her because her cost is 2. So I'm going to discard this card, the Power of Protection. It has a wild resource, so it can pay for any type, but the type doesn't matter in this case. But its effect says that it counts as double if paid for a protection card. Clea is a protection card, so this card I can discard for both of those 2 resources to put her into play. And then I think I'm going to have her attack. Normally I would thwart, but I have plans that hopefully pan out. But we're going to attack. Her attack value is 1, so 14's down to 13. The little burst symbol there means she takes 1 consequential damage. So she can only be activated twice in that way before she defeats herself, basically. And I have another power of protection, so this is also going to pay 2 toward a green card, which is going to be Judoka Skill, a new card from the Rogue pack. It starts with 3 judo counters, 3 uses, so I'll track that with these. And it's an interrupt effect. When I defend an enemy attack, I can remove a counter from it to give the enemy -2 attack for that attack. And like I said, I'm going to be ending my turn with 2 cards, which doesn't feel great. But I think I have to, because I can't play them. I could have mulliganed them. No hidden information has been revealed, so I'm not totally against rewinding. I guess technically the Skullbuster flip and the encounter card is hidden information, but I'll just stick with it. So at the end of... Oh, I'm going to also activate Rogue, use her basic attack to deal 2 damage to the hood, putting him down to 11. Then as I end my turn, I will ready all my player cards and drop to my hand size of 5 now. Her alter ego hand size is 6, but in hero form it's only 5. When we go to the villain phase, the first thing that happens is the main scheme is going to get +1 threat per player. There's only 1 player, so it's going to get 1 threat. Then the hood will activate against us. Because we're in hero form, he will activate with an attack. And I mean, I guess I'm going to defend it. I've got retaliate. So if I just let him hit me, I could retaliate for 1 damage. Or I can exhaust myself to reduce the damage by 2. I could also use Judoka's skill to reduce his attack by 2, but he only has 1 attack. I think I will defend. Not sure how to play this deck. A lot of times on my videos, I do find deck lists from marvelcdb.com and get a very expert player to build the deck list for me effectively. In this case, I put it together on my own, so maybe not quite as good. I also had like a quirky little dumb thing I wanted to try. But yeah, I'm going to defend it, and he's going to deal 1 damage plus boost icons equal to the number on this card. This encounter card has 2 boost icons, so that's a total of 3 damage. Reduced by her 2 defense because I defended. So she's going to take 1 and go down to 10. But her retaliate from the touched ability is going to deal 1 back to the hood, putting him down to 10. And then I need to get an encounter card, 1 for each player, which is me, but I already had 1 from foul play. And this card is a Reaver card. It says cybernetic enhancements attached to a minion, otherwise it gains surge. So there's no minions out, so it's just going to have surge, which means get a different card instead. Also a cybernetic enhancement, so we're burning through the villain deck. And field recruitment is a hood card. Set aside, choose a set aside modular encounter set at random, shuffle it into the encounter deck, and then resolve foul play and remove this from the game. Okay, so this is out of the game. So I counted, I think I've got like 62 encounter sets. So I'm going to roll a D62. The D8 is going to be the tens place. But if I roll a 7 or 8, I'll have to re-roll it. Or just an 8, rather. But anyway, I got 57. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is under attack. It's one of the basic ones from the core box. These are shuffled in. And then I'm going to have to resolve a foul play trigger, which is a Reaver card. So I get another set-aside encounter card. This could be annoying. This card is Madam Mask, another hood card. It has guard, which means while she's in play, we can't attack the hood. When revealed, we have to foul play again. And that is a hood card at least, so no extra encounter card. And she's got 4 health, 1 scheme, and 2 attack. She comes out, and our last encounter card is the Reavers. It's a side scheme that gives us an extra encounter card. Well, not this turn, but starting next turn. It's going to start with 5 threat, and when defeated, the player defeated it discards from the encounter deck until it's a Reaver, and it puts it into play. Wow. So we go back to the hero phase. We get our touched back, comes unattached. And yeah, this is a tough start. I have some really good cards in my hand. I have the X-Jet, I have Gambit, I have Multiple Man, and I have the 2 cards I saved. So kind of rough. I defended because I was thinking I was going to play Ever Vigilant. Now it doesn't seem quite as good. Thinking about going to alter ego form, but it's going to be very tough to avoid advancing this scheme. Now, one thing about this scenario as opposed to many others is that there are actually 3 schemes, 3 main schemes to work through. So even if this one hits 5, I don't lose the game as I would in some scenarios. We'll just go to the next scheme, but bad things will happen. So I'm going to try to plan for the future and deal with some bad stuff now. And I kind of don't even want to use Clea. Yeah, this is going to be bad, but I'm going to play the X-Jet. Hopefully this is a bad stuff, before, Calm Before the Storm, but in reverse, like a storm before a calm. The X-Jet costs 3, so I'm going to be discarding the Ever Vigilant that I saved and this Multiple Man and this Preservation, because unlike the Power of Protections I played last turn, each of these cards only makes 1 resource. This is going to be a support, so every turn I'm going to be able to exhaust it for 1 wild resource, as long as my character has the X-Men trait, which she does. Or do I have to be in X-Men form? I think I actually do have to be on hero form, so I don't think it'll help me in alter ego form, because on Anna Marie's side, she is a mutant, but not an X-Men. Also going to play as I spend a Preservation, it heals 1, so I get to go back up to 11, and I'm gonna change into alter ego form. Already exhausted, so I'm not able to attack, thwart, or anything. I could have attached touch to something, but it wouldn't matter. I'm saving Gambit. I think that's all I can do. So I'm going to ready. This time I get to draw 5 up to my hand size of 6 because I'm holding the Gambit, which means now we go into the villain phase. This gets 1. And then the Hood is going to scheme for 1 plus a boost of, 0. We got advance there, which is nice because now it's at 4. Now Madame Mask schemes, but that is going to advance the scheme. If he had hit a boost, that would have advanced before Madame Mask activated, and we would have started with an extra threat on the next scheme. This one, Promised Prosperity, says, through hard work, determination, and a lot of illegal activity, the Hood has expanded his empire, gathering a formidable force that threatens the safety of every citizen in New York City. I've got to say, this is one of the scenarios that actually I think does a really good job of doing what the game is supposed to do, which is represent an entire issue or trade paperback of issues, like a whole big story arc of Rogue fighting against the Hood and trying to solve his plans, rather than what a lot of the scenarios have been made to do more recently, which is it's just all a big fight, and it doesn't make any sense that you go into alter ego form sometimes. You just have to fudge it to mean that maybe you're hiding in the corner or something, or regrouping, or thinking of memories of the card. But in this case, we actually get to use alter ego form to its fullest in terms of the theme. And yeah, the Hood is a really good scenario for that. But when this one is revealed, we got to choose another set aside modular set, shuffle it in, and place an acceleration counter. And then when it flips over, each player must resolve foul play. And if you don't get an encounter card, you get 2 threat. It also starts with 2. All right, let's roll our D61. This time we got 27. Kree Militants. Wow, he's working intergalactically. Wow, and this is a 9-card encounter set. It's gonna mess us up. And then I'm gonna have to do foul play, and especially mean foul play. This is a Kree Militants card, which means get an extra encounter card. I get a normal encounter card, and I get an encounter card for the Reavers. So this will be super fun. Caught off guard, discard an upgrade or support. Wow, I just got my X-Jet, so I think that's kaput for my Judica skill. Next one is Assault, but in alter ego form, it's going to have Surge. We get a different one, and that's our Deadly Touch. The obligation for Rogue, give to the Anna Marie player. If it's attached to a friendly character, deal 2 damage to that character. If Touch is not attached to a friendly character, place 2 threat on the main scheme. So it's up to 4 anyway, and this is discarded so it can come back later, and we get Wade Cole, a Reaver. Teamwork with Reavers. I don't know what that means. When revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a copy of the cybernetic enhancements and attach it to Cole. So this is coming back out of the discard pile. It's going to raise his attack from 2 up to 3. And he can't take damage, but after he attacks, it's discarded. All right, so Teamwork Reaver means that as soon as he enters play, all other Reavers will activate immediately. Fortunately, there aren't any, but if any other Teamwork Reaver cards come out while this Reaver is still in play, then he will get to activate immediately. So to keep an eye on him, although we can't hurt him anyway until he attacks, so maybe that wouldn't be too bad. All right, well, I'm not going to be able to do anything in alter ego form, so let's switch to Rogue hero form. I'm going to exhaust the X-Jet for a wild resource and play Rogue's Jacket, which is an upgrade, costs only 1. And while our touched card is attached to a friendly character, she has +1 thwart. While it's attached to an enemy character, she has +1 attack. All right, I'm going to attach this to Clea, but then I'm going to attack, which seems like a waste of the +1 thwart, but I'm going to have a lot of thwart coming. I can't attack the Hood because Madame Mask guards, and I can't damage Wade Cole because of his ability, probably because of the cybernetic enhancements. So we're going to put 2 damage on Madame Mask. Then I'm going to play Go in Rogue, which says remove 3 threat from a scheme. If she has aerial, remove 2 additional threats. She does have aerial because touched is attached to an ally. I'm paying her for that 2 cost with Genius, which makes 2 resources printed right on there. So I get to remove 5 threat from a scheme. I think, is that actually going to be this one? I guess so, but that means I have to discard until I get a Reaver and put it into play. So here we go. Upper hand, Kree Private, Concussive Blast, upper hand, Unbridled Ambition, upper hand, Kree Commando, Assault, the Hood's Pistol, Vibranium Armor, Establish Dominance, Gang Up, Advance, Under Attack, Kree Private, Hood's Mantle, Kree Lieutenant, Concussive Blast, Murray Reese. So there's our Reaver. Discarded a huge chunk of that deck. When revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for cybernetic enhancements. So we're definitely seeing the Reavers in action, and it's actually the same thing as Wade Cole. So they are the same card, just with a different name and art. The teamwork is going to trigger on Wade, so he's going to attack immediately for 3, and I guess I'm just going to take it, going down to 8, and Rogue's going to take a lot of damage. But I'm going to play Ever Vigilant. I have Aerial right now because it's attached to Clea. I'm paying with these 2 cards, and she's going to get readied and remove 2 threat from the main scheme. So now she's ready again, and now I can use her again. Cybernetic enhancements are discarded after he attacked. But now I've got 2, 4, 6, 7, plus the Hood's attack all coming in, which is a lot, by the way. So I was tempted to attack with Rogue and Clea to clear out Wade, but I think instead I need to attack with Rogue to finish off Madame Mask and leave Wade alone. Although if another Reaver comes out, that's going to be a lot of attacks. Now her when defeated ability says I've got to trigger Foul Play, and it is not a Hood card, so I get another encounter card, and I'm going to leave Clea to defend. So that's why I didn't defeat Wade Cole. Get to draw only 5 cards. This one's actually, oh yeah, this started with 2. I did that right, I think. So that gets 1 more, up to 3. The Hood will attack. What's going to be the biggest attack? These are both 2s. This is going to be 1 plus a boost. Could be 0 boost, could be 1 boost. If it's 0 or 1, it's less than or equal to these. Man, if I'm taking all these attacks, Retaliate would have been good, but alas. This is actually 3. So I'm going to take the hit. I forgot the cybernetic enhancement. I'm going to take the hit from the Hood. So he's attacking Rogue for 1. Am I going to defend? I'm not. So 1 plus, oh, no boosts, but it's got a special. If this activation is an attack, plus 3. Oh gosh. Okay, so 4 damage to Rogue from the Kree Lieutenant's special ability. Puts her down to 4. He attacks for 2, puts Rogue down to 2. And then Murray Reese will attack, and I'll defend with Clea, so she takes 3. She will be knocked out. Her effect will shuffle her back into my deck, and the cybernetic enhancements are discarded. And I forgot this was supposed to have an acceleration counter, so it actually does have 4 on it. Then I'm going to get my normal encounter card plus the one that I already had. So if either of these is an attack or a Reaver, I'm going to be dead. That's Shadows of the Past instead. I feel like this could have gone better, which means we get to see more of Rogue's special kit. Her nemesis comes into play, which is her adopted mother, Mystique. Toughness and Villainous. After she engages you, search the encounter deck, discard pile, and set aside area for the Misled Treachery and shuffle it into your deck. So we're going to shuffle one of these into our deck. When revealed, shuffle it into your deck and again Surge. After this card enters your hand, place 2 threat on the main scheme. And then you just have to discard it. So that's pretty bad. 2 more copies of Misled are going to get shuffled into this otherwise 1-card deck. And we also get the side scheme from Shadows of the Past, which is Mystique's Manipulations. While she knows Mystique can't be trusted, Rogue still finds it hard to reject the woman who raised her. 2 per player threat. When defeated, search the encounter deck and discard pile for Misled and shuffle it into your deck. And it has another acceleration. All of that, even though I could just be dead right now. Kree Private. Quick Strike. He attacks me for 1. And puts me down to 1. That's just rude. 5 health, though, on an otherwise tiny little guy. I guess I get to keep playing for now. Oh, Mystique is tough. I'm going to bring out a couple of allies. First of all, Brother Voodoo. When he enters play, search the top 5 cards of your deck for an event, and then shuffle. So we get these 5. The only event is a Go in Rogue. To pay for Brother Voodoo with a Strength, 2 more resources, and another copy of Go in Rogue I already had in my hand. Which is a shame because those are pretty strong. In fact, No, I can't really afford to do that. Then I'm going to use the X-Jet along with the Going Rogue and Superpower adaptation to play Iceman. He enters play with 3 freeze counters. And when a minion enters play, he can stun them for 1 freeze counter. Would have been nice like a long time ago. I'm going to touch the Kree's privates, the Kree private, because now we have +1 attack from the jacket. I mean, it doesn't matter who we touch, but then I can attack and at least clear out 1 enemy. I was thinking about healing, but I don't know, man. And then Iceman and Brother Voodoo can team up to attack and take out another minion. I feel like we're going to definitely pop out Promise Prosperity because I'm definitely switching down to Alter Ego form so we don't get pummeled with attacks. And I could use the extra card, or I could have both of them thwart and remove a total of 3 off the main scheme. I don't know if that's going to keep it from popping though, because it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the hood, if he gets any boost icons, that will advance it. And even if he doesn't, Mystique is villainous and she could get boost icons as well. So it's very likely somebody's getting boosts. Also, I could draw Misled and just add 2 that way. But lower is better because then when the next one comes out, it'll have less on it, maybe? Maybe I shouldn't have played Iceman. If I played Going Rogue, I could have done 5 threat if I had Aerial, which I wouldn't, unless I was willing to give up the +1 attack to take out the minion. I'm just going to stick with this. End my turn. Draw 6. So 2, 3, 4 threat gets added here. The hood schemes for 1 plus a boost of 2, plus if it's an attack it gains piercing, but it's not. So that is 3 added, which does make it hit 8. That's going to advance to Crime State. With a legion of villains at his side, the hood has established a domain of depravity that even the strongest heroes would be wise to fear. Choose a set-aside modular set at random, shuffle it, place an acceleration token, and resolve foul play. All right, now it should just be a D60. So we got 43, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is Power Drain. That's Electro. This is shuffled into the 2-card deck. What are the chances I'm going to flip a hood card after this? It's not a hood card somehow. So I get an extra encounter card dealt. And then on the other side, we're going to have 10 threat till we lose the game. Starts with 3 threat. After resolving step 1 of the villain phase, each player must resolve foul play. Well, that's going to be fun. All right, Wade, Mystique, and Kree also get 2 schemes. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3 plus Mystique's boost because she's villainous. That's going to be 1 more. And discard the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. These come off and we're back down to 1 card. Misled, Power Drain, and Shock Therapy go, which I think leaves a Misled. 4 more threat goes on, which is 7 out of 10. Before I lose the game, I get dealt an encounter deck card, which means the deck is empty, which means another acceleration token is placed here, and this giant discard pile is shuffled up, which is right here. Then let's see what we get. There's the Misled. So when revealed, shuffle it into your deck and also Surge. So now we've got 2 Misleds in here somewhere. I'm looking at you, not at my deck. And, oh, well, there you go. And then Surge is another copy of Misled after all that shuffling. Well, we got to shuffle this one in. Now we got all 3. Shadows of the past are the shadows of now. And I did it again. All right, we get another card, which is Electro himself. Too bad the villain doesn't have a maximum of 3 allies. After it attacks you, discard a card from the encounter deck, take an indirect damage for each boost. Well, things just keep looking up. Pretty sure Rogue has attack cards in her deck that deal like significant amounts of damage. Haven't seen them. Oh, and I can freeze Electro, so that's nice. Thank you, Iceman. So one part of me says I should recover. I can exhaust her in Alter Ego form to gain health equal to her recover value of 3. Another part of me says I need to use her to do as much impact as I can. In particular, I really need the main scheme to drop significantly in threat because it's going to get 4, 5 just from the acceleration, the natural 1, and this symbol here. It's going to gain 5 even without any scheming, which means at most I can be at 4. If it's at 4, it can gain 5 and be at 9. Playing on the knife's edge, but that's the kind of math we got to do. So let's go to Rogue form. Let's use Touched and attach it to Brother Voodoo so I can be a Mystic again. And I did put some Mystic cards in the deck, but I haven't drawn any of those either. I wanted to be able to play like Sorcerer Supreme and Protection Spell. Thought it would be funny and clever, but it's not working out. In part because I haven't drawn them. I've drawn my Mystics, but not my spells. But now we have +1 Thwart, and I'm going to thwart off crime state, which brings it down to that magic number of 4 we just talked about. I'm going to play armor. She costs 2, so I'm going to discard these 2 cards. Only if you're an X-Man, we are. And she is tough, which means the first time she would take damage, all of that damage will be prevented. So if I were to attack or thwart with her now, she'd take 1 consequence. Oh, her attack does not have the little... Oh, yes, it does. For some reason, I must have covered that symbol up. Definitely has the symbol. For a second, I thought she didn't have consequential damage on her attack. That would be a fun card. I must have done that. Anyway, so I'm not going to attack or thwart with her because I want to save the tough. Unless I really need that 1 point somewhere. Iceman I can use. Is he going to attack for 2? Sure. Let's make some progress on the big guy, putting him down to 8. Then I'm going to play Energy Transfer, paying with this Deft Focus, unfortunately, and the X-Jet. And Energy Transfer says, attach touch to a character other than Rogue, and deal 2 damage to that character. So we're going to attach the touched to the Hood, and deal 2 damage to him, putting him down to 6. Heal 2 damage from Rogue, putting her up to 3, and ready her. So now she has Retaliate. She also has +1 attack because the Rogue's jacket touched is on an enemy. And we can attack for 3 to clear out Wade Cole. I'm saving 1 card in my hand, which is a good one. Not using armor or Brother Voodoo. And let's end the turn there. Not feeling great, but more than 1 health. No room to spare on the threat. Oh, and yeah, I'm dead. I just drew 3 misleds. Yeah, I should have done that. I should have known that. That was an idiotic move. I knew my top card was misled, so at the very least, I should have thwarted with Brother Voodoo to remove this down to 2. And if I only drew the 1 misled, it adds 2 threat to the main scheme when I draw it. So that would even out the Brother Voodoo exchange, but I'd have to count on not drawing any more, and I drew 2 more. So very, very dead. Thanks to Shadows of the Past and Mystique. I mean, the Hood didn't put us in a great situation either. But this is the card I had saved, Bulletproof Bell. So for 1 cost and 1 resource, which could have been the X-Jet or whatever, when an enemy with touched attacks, prevent all the damage and gain tough. So I'd get to prevent the damage from the Hood, become tough, retaliate, and then the next attack against me, which would have been Mystique, would have also been prevented, and then because of the tough, and then retaliate against Mystique to knock off her tough. And I was feeling okay about that. And then I had these blockers for the attacks from... Actually, he's stunned. So it would have just been 1 damage, which I probably could have just taken. Going into the next turn, actually, if I had not drawn 3 misleds, I would have drawn some Southern Crosses. I don't know if I could have afforded 2 of them, especially after playing Bulletproof Bell, but that could potentially deal 8 damage. Or I could deal 6 and stun him, which is nice as well. And by him, I mean the Hood. But this was a failed attempt. I actually think without the misleds, if Shadows of the Past had been something a little less impactful, I could have scraped back through, especially dealing out huge chunks of damage toward the end with some saber-tooth uppercuts. But anyway, stay tuned. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'll give another shot against the Hood with Gambit. But anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe so we can get more subscribers, and bye.